Okay, well, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. As you know, this webinar is going to be recorded. So in the event that you miss a couple of minutes of it, or if you miss some of it, we will send the recording out to everyone who registered for this evening, and we'll also put it on our website. So I'm so happy that we're going to be talking about the 2025 Celiac Cruise Holiday River Cruise with AmaWaterways tonight. And we have two very special guests with us tonight. First, the one and only Vanessa Weisbrod from the Celiac Disease Foundation. Welcome, Vanessa.
Thanks, Connie. I'm really excited to be here. These cruises have been such an incredible part of my life, and I'm just honored to get to be a part of it with you guys.
Vanessa's been there from the very beginning, and we just love her so much. And then we're also so proud to have Diane Horan from AmaWaterways with us this evening. Hello, Diane.
Hello, Connie and Vanessa. I am so happy to be here as well. And I'm so proud of what you've done with these cruises and what a great success they've been. And it has been so nice for AmaWaterways to be a part of this.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get started. One of the things we want to do is to put the questions in the Q&A, and we'll answer them all in the end. So if you have any questions, instead of raising your hand or anything else, go ahead and put them in the Q&A. We're going to be talking tonight about the Christmas markets on the Danube, which is on the Amalea, sailing from December 6th through the 13th. So here is our agenda for tonight. We're going to go a little bit over the history of Celiac Cruise, the holiday market cruise overview, last year's holiday market cruise, the highlights of the ship, the pre and post options, food safety is going to be, Vanessa's going to talk about that, nautical itinerary, life on board, gluten-free dining. There's a lot of pictures in here about dining. I think that's because that's what we do best, right? Is gluten-free dining. And then, of course, disembarkation. A little video.
It's in the mood.
Yes.
So kiss me under the mistletoe, pour out the wine, let's toast and pray for December snow. I know there's been pain this year, but it's time to let it go. Next year you never know, but for now, Merry Christmas. We'll dance in the kitchen while embers glow. We've both known love, but this love we got is the best of all. I wish you could see it through my eyes, then you would know. My God, you look beautiful.
So that was from our last year's holiday cruise on AmaWaterways on the Rhine, and we loved it so much that we booked this year's cruise on the Danube. So last week or 2 weeks ago, we celebrated our 25th cruise with Celiac, the Celiac cruise with both Royal Caribbean, AmaWaterways, and soon to be Oceania. So 25 cruises so far. We've come a long way since 2020, considering there was a 2-year pause from 2020 to 2022. And just look at where all we've been, and just think about all the wonderful places we're going. But we want to celebrate the holidays on board with you on AmaWaterways, and you're going to see tons and tons of photos on this webinar tonight, and you're going to get a little taste of what it's like. But I had someone on last year's Christmas market tell me that it was like being in a Hallmark Christmas movie live, because the whole environment, the whole cruise, the whole time was just magical. Wouldn't you agree, Diane?
Absolutely. That's a great way to describe it. That makes me happy. And it's the thing about Ama is that we go to the tens when it comes to decorating for the holidays. So we really make it festive. And when you're on board, you will never forget it. It'll be a holiday like none other.
Yes. Here's another little video. When can we pack?
I want to go. I'm ready.
Um, Hold on, let me get to the next screen. Sorry. So on our Christmas cruise, holiday cruise, we are going to have lots of familiar faces. Top left corner is Raul, who is our one and only cruise director. And then we'll have some of the chefs. Alex and Joseph will be on board. Maureen and I will be on board. And as you can see on the bottom left, that was one of our very first cruises, and it was warm enough at that point we could all sit outside and get our picture made. Not sure if that's going to happen on the Danube, but if we can, we will, because it's really cool to have a group picture made like that. One of the things that we want to do is encourage you that if you want to do a holiday market cruise, celiac cruise, you need to do it this year, because we don't have any plans for 2026 or 2027 to do a holiday market cruise. So this is the year to do it, and we're going to tell you why it's so important. Diane, tell us about this one.
And I have to just share this picture with you, or these pictures. This was a special moment for me on a Christmas markets cruise. And it was on a day where we happened to be delayed on the river, which was the best blessing ever. Sometimes I say when the river changes your mind about certain things you do, it always turns out to be plan B, even better than plan A. Because we were a little late down the river, it became darker. And because it became darker, the castles, I did not know, actually have Christmas lights on them. And this was my first chance to see a castle with it all illuminated with lights, just like we do at home on our houses. And I'll never forget it ever. It's still it's my very favorite moment from going over there. And these are the reasons why you travel at this time of year, because it becomes so magical. There's no other time of year when it's more beautiful. If you click to the next picture, Connie, it really brings it to life, right?
Wow.
That is a wow picture. And that is normal. You will see that everywhere, right, Connie? And when you go and it's so much to behold. Normally when you go on a river cruise, it's beautiful too, but those beautiful town squares are just town squares. But during the holiday season, they transform them into these magical wonderlands of lights, the smells of the season, the gingerbread and the sausage cooking and the glühwein. And then you see the music, or you hear the music playing. It gives you goosebumps. And now that I'm doing this with you, every time I do this, I want to go back again. I'm ready. Yes. And after doing one the first time, I thought, well, I grew up in Wisconsin, moved to Florida to be warm. I didn't think I ever wanted to go back where it was cold. I would not hesitate in 1 second to go to a Christmas markets and just have to put on a coat and a pair of gloves to be able to be amongst this and to take it all in. It's just something you'll never forget in your lifetime.
And if you went last year, the markets were great, but this year, the markets on the Danube are just incredible. It's where it all began.
And you can go over and over, even if
Yes.
you've done the Rhine, come with us on the Danube, please. It's all different.
Here's another beautiful video.
Onboard AmaWaterways, beautiful river cruise ships in Europe. The holiday season begins from the middle of November. Any guest who joins us during the second half of November and through the new year will step inside a seasonal wonderland filled with
decorations.
Magic on more than 20 unique holiday cruise itineraries. Whether embarking in Germany, France, Portugal, Hungary, or Romania, festive activities and traditional delights await around every corner of the ship. With tree trimming, gingerbread decorating, Christmas caroling, and a visit from a special someone on every departure. Whether or not snow is falling outside the ship, and no matter how many Christmas markets you have the pleasure of visiting on shore, an AmaWaterways holiday cruise is always filled with warmth and cheer. Join us on board next season.
So, very excited about what's to come.
On board
Sorry, got to go to a different screen. Okay, tell us about this one, Diane.
So this is a very special moment also. The lady that you see with the purple scarf in the middle of the picture there is Christine Karst. She is our co-founder of our company and still today is working in our company, running it every day, just always there overseeing how everything is going. That she is there with her mother and with her daughter. And the person behind that square, if you want to turn on your little video, which is a video of Connie's Glühwein experience. They are having their Glühwein at one of the Christmas markets. And that little video that Connie put there, I love your videos, Connie, because they're so real. That's really what it's going to be like. And they're enjoying that Glühwein. Glühwein is a infused wine. It's served warm. And if you don't want that, you can have coffee in your cup. We don't care. We give you little coupons to go get your Glühwein and go out and experience the market. But this is just an example of how you can share this with your family members. Connie, last year I went on a Christmas markets cruise with Ama the same exact week that you're going. And I can tell you, I brought my whole family this time. Always in the past, I was working. This time we made it a vacation. And we made memories that we're never going to forget together. So I highly recommend it, to bring multi-generations. And I know you handle that, Connie, all
Yes.
different age levels. It's a great time of year for them to come to. So.
And if you notice my little cup here, that says that we were in Basel, and in every little town has their own coffee cups, and you get to keep them if you want,
Yeah.
or you can return them back for, for credit. But I have a whole collection of them now, and it's just a cute little keepsake because
It is.
Yeah.
And just remember when you pack to leave room for your Glühwein mugs to bring them home. Because
Yes.
they do have the name of the market you were at and the year usually, and they're all beautiful. You can see everyone in Christine's hand, in her mom's hand, in your hand, Connie. They're all different. I'm obsessed with them myself.
So last year we had an ugly sweater party on board the ship, and it was so much fun. We had a Yeti there that had lights on his. We had another lady there on the right with lights on hers. Of course, Marilyn and Mark, Marilyn's with the Celiac Disease Foundation. She had on her blue, "You spin me right round, baby, right round." It was so cute. And then Mark was stoked for Hanukkah. That was fun. And then you can see the group photo there on the left. That was a really fun night. Some participated, some didn't. Those that did participate had more fun. But it's just one of the fun things that we do, and it made it so much fun. This is our ship. It's a floating resort. She's absolutely gorgeous. One of the newer, bigger, amazing ships. You can see she's got a little swimming pool there in the middle. She's got a front deck. She's got so many things. Look at this welcome aboard entry area. Talk about being decked out. When we were on the river cruise last year, another cruise line pulled up beside us, and they had a couple of strings of lights, but our whole ship was just decked out completely. We blew them out of the water. How beautiful the ship was. The decorations, I'm sure, cost a fortune. Ama is known for their impeccable service, and you'll see that the crew is just there. It's to answer any questions you may have, as well as make sure that you have an incredible trip. There you can see the stairwell decorated, the entranceway. We do have guests from all ages come, and they had a great time. This food looks really incredible, Vanessa.
It
Yummy.
not only look incredible, it tastes incredible too. So yeah, all of the food is included on AmaWaterways, which is really amazing. And one of the things that my husband and I just keep talking about, we've been on a few of the cruises now. My family has come as well, my parents, and my sister, just how good the food is at every single meal and how much care and attention goes into it. With celiac, we're so used to traveling and having, a substitute or something that doesn't look quite as beautiful as what everyone else around us has. And these photos that you see are really the gluten-free food that you get. And you just feel so included and so lucky to have just the most amazing pastries. And, I've been on, 3 or 4 cruises now with Celiac Cruise. And I always think that I'm going to go in, and the thing that I won't forget is the desserts or the pastries, which are amazing. But I to this day, every time the fall comes, I think about the soups. The soups,
Oh,
every single meal are the best soups I have ever had in my whole life. And I remember the first day at lunch on my first Alma cruise, and they brought it was a carrot ginger soup, and there were croutons in it, and I was like, "Wait, there's gluten-free croutons in my soup?" And then I take a bite of it, and it was so delicious, and it was still crispy. And then with every single meal, there are these beautiful foams that are on the soups, and like just a variety of crispy, crunchy, gluten-free toppings that they put on them. And it was such a special treat and something that I still think about now. Um, so breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night snacks, and the chef's table restaurant are all included, and everything on the entire ship is gluten-free. Even the crew eats gluten-free during the sailings. And so it's not only really special for you, but it's also special for the crew because it gives them a really good understanding of what it means to live with celiac disease, and also makes them really an advocate for the celiac community as they, go the next week and the next person with celiac comes on board, and they can talk about the amazing food that they were able to eat.
thank you for saying that. And also, I think we have the best gluten-free chocolate chip cookies ever.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, really?
Yeah, they're just amazing. I tell, because we always on our other cruises do offer gluten-free options, but of course it's nothing to this extent like with your cruises where every single detail is watched over and taken care of. And it's so nice to see these pictures and see how they're able to actually, as you said, make everything the same, if not more beautiful. So beautiful to eat and to look at.
Exactly. But the French fries are also pretty incredible. Always French
Yes.
fries at lunch and at dinner.
The potato wedges, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Or French fries
those are
too.
the fries
Yeah,
we have
the
for us.
fries,
They're
yeah.
so crispy and so delicious. You make really good friends because you're sitting with different people at every meal. And I've made, really lifelong friends on these sailings, that you meet for a week on the river, but, we text each other all the time. We have all these really cool group chats, and, have just become people that are a part of our life. So anyways, I met this awesome group of people when I was on the romantic Danube last fall. And we made a pact that at every meal we were going to order French fries, and at every we were going to ask for the gluten-free pretzel rolls. And we did it the entire week. It's still something that we talk about. Actually, our group chat is called the gluten-free pretzels, because of
Oh,
them.
good name.
That sounds really cool. Well, we have a lot of photos about food, so I'll keep going for now because we'll come back to food. It seems like every slide is going to be a little bit about the travel, but more about the food. So we'll be back and forth if that's okay. So Diane.
Weather. Let me talk about the weather. I personally would love if I went on the cruise and it looked like this, the white, because having moved from Wisconsin to Florida and not getting to see that beautiful snow is sometimes I miss it at the holidays. But that doesn't always happen. It can also be very warm in December. I shouldn't say very warm, but warmer. So you do have to kind of monitor the weather every year to see if it's likely you're going to get snow while you're there or not get snow. But what I will say is you just pack accordingly. We always layer. One year I was on the same exact week that you're going, Connie, and it was so warm that we ran all of our biking tours that week because we were able to. And the very next year, the same week, it snowed every day. So you just don't know what you're going to get. So if you get the white, to me, I think it even looks more magical. If you don't care about the snow, there's a good chance you won't have it every day. So you get a little bit of each. But at any rate, I can honestly say I've never talked to any person that's done a Christmas markets cruise with us that has come back and said, I'm never going to go there because of the weather. They never say it. Doesn't matter if it snowed. It doesn't matter if it didn't snow. The whole aspect of being there during that magical time makes up for everything either way, no matter what your expectation is. Because for you, you might want snow or not want snow. So we just don't know. So you have your 50-50 chance. And for me personally, if we get it, I'm going to be super happy. And for
Mhm.
other people, they'll say, oh my gosh, Diane, I don't need to see any more, especially if they're from up north, right?
Well, after this
So,
long, hot Florida summer, I'm ready for it. So,
oh yeah, it's so pretty. So, and now we got more food to go with the cool weather.
okay, Vanessa,
There's
there's
your
your
French
prize.
fries, Vanessa.
Okay. These are all things that I ate while on AmaWaterways.
I love it.
Okay, so every day at lunch when okay, so breakfast, there are multiple options you can order from a menu, but there's also always like the buffet that you can walk up to and take like fruits and yogurts. There's omelets, there's like waffles, pancakes, so many options, eggs Benedict, like amazing, amazing choices. Then for lunch, on the far right photo, you sort of see this like appetizer board that has different shaped little dishes on it. And they bring every single appetizer on the menu to your table for everybody to have little bites of it, so you get to try everything. And that was one of my favorite parts about it, was just getting to try the local fare. And it was always something related to the country that you were in. And so that was always really unique and really special. There's a basket of French fries. They're just so delicious. There's also a sandwich every day on the lunch menu that's like a themed sandwich for where you are. And so that was another really great way to try different food from the region. There's staples on the menu every night. Like you could get a Caesar salad with steak every night if you wanted. But there's just so many amazing options. And every night there's a chef's recommendation on the menu where the chef gives their suggestion for what the entrees, appetizers, and desserts that you should pick. But of course, you can mix and match and do whatever you want. There's also always a vegetarian chef's choice menu, which is really nice. And so if you are a vegetarian, it's something that's highlighted and appreciated. And there's always really great options that are vegetarian. I know there are a lot of questions in the Q&A already about other dietary restrictions. So Alma does an amazing job handling other dietary needs. The entire cruise is gluten-free, and anything besides gluten-free, you would communicate with the head servers and work with them to pick items that can be made to meet your dietary needs. But they do such an incredible job. All of the staff that I've worked with have been extremely accommodating and willing to work with you. But as always, the earlier you let them know, the better, so that they can plan for it and get the right products on board.
Yes.
And of course, the Celiac Disease Foundation plays a really large role in helping getting ready for these ships. Before everybody comes on board, we do training with all of the staff on the ship. Those happen in the weeks leading up, as well as the days right before the sailing. So the crew that you're going to have is the crew that gets trained. We check all of the menus. We check all of the ingredients that come on board. It's one of my favorite times. As they're loading the ship and stocking the pantries, we're standing there checking every single label of every item that has come on. And, everybody is human that's involved in this. And there are often times when there is an ingredient that we say, no, we're sorry, this can't come on board. And every single time, Alma has worked to replace it with a safe gluten-free alternative, which I've so appreciated. And they've just been so great to work with in sourcing the ingredients and working with us. There have been times when they've sourced amazing pastries from local bakeries in the cities that we've found. And so it's just been a real treat to get to work with them and to get to see the uniqueness that they bring to all of the sailings. We also at the foundation, we help with onboard events. We do education seminars during the sailings. We do support talks. We do wine and wisdom nights where we talk about different topics in the celiac community. And then, of course, Cruising for a Cause, which is Connie and Maureen's philanthropy effort, which we are very grateful that they direct the funds to the Celiac Disease Foundation, and all of the funds raised go to support food insecure families with celiac disease. So a huge thank you to Connie and Maureen for always making that a priority and for, really using these cruises not only to give people amazing vacations, but also to give back to the community.
Here's a picture of just the crew and how much they love getting involved. You can see Diane has her Christmas hat, her
Yeah, my
Santa hat
hat,
on,
yeah.
and the crew loves to participate in this, and you'll see big smiles on their face. They just love to have anything to do with that. I wanted to show some pictures of the beautiful ship. This is the lounge where we have our daily programs, where we talk about what we're going to do the next day. We also have our sip and sail, where the happy hour is every night, open bar. And then there's presentations and things done. You can always just come in here and sit and have a coffee as we're sailing down the river too. So it's a great place to relax, and just very comfy and very cozy. This is the chef's table. As Vanessa mentioned, the chef's table is also included. It's a specialty restaurant. There's enough space for everybody on the ship to come back here one time. And it's a complete, like, 12-course meal paired with wine. And it's, of course, all gluten-free. And it's just absolutely incredible. You can see the care that they put into creating all of the dishes. It's an open kitchen, and you can actually see them. This is one of our chefs on one of our previous cruises. The food, Vanessa, was just it's incredible back here. I mean, it's great everywhere, but this is such a special experience.
It's like eating art. Every plate is just absolutely beautiful and tastes as beautiful as it looks. And you just, again, like I said earlier, you feel really lucky to be in a place where they've taken the care to make sure you can eat everything. And, so I have celiac disease, but my husband does not. My mom has celiac disease, but my dad does not. And my husband and my dad have traveled on Ama, and both would never know the difference that the food is gluten-free. Like, it's that good that people who don't have celiac enjoy the culinary experience as much as those of us who do have it. So it's just a really nice treat.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for saying that, because they do take such pride in our food service on all of our cruises, but especially on these particular cruises where they've gone that extra mile to make sure that they could just still do something to wow you, to
Yes.
make you remember it, and to make everybody enjoy it. I'm also not gluten-free, but I always eat our gluten-free food when we have it, because it is so good. I'm not kidding you. I told them I really wish I could get these at home. See, but so thank you for
It's really-
saying that. Oh, more food.
Yeah, it's really just a culinary experience from the start to
Yeah.
the end. It's how I ate my way through the Danube Christmas market, holiday markets, because it's just everywhere you turn, the food is just there, available, and all. Then you have to work out, Vanessa.
Yeah. This is the problem. You must do the wellness program then.
Wellness program, it's going to sound like, why do I want to go on a wellness program when I'm on this trip? But I will
Yeah.
tell you, the wellness instructors have been some of my favorite crew members, and I've seen some of the most incredible things going on the wellness walks that they do. So every day there are excursions, and all the excursions are included. And some days there's two excursions, and sometimes one of them is a wellness walk, and they take you on walks through the various cities. I've done them where we hike up to a castle. I've done them where we hike to these lookout points that are the most beautiful lookouts that a city has to offer. And so, they're not necessarily official, like, guide led excursions, but we've made some of our closest friends on the wellness walks, and I would just really encourage people to take advantage of them, if you can.
So I want to talk a little bit about the ship and the staterooms. As you can see, the two people here in the video, in the photo, are on the balcony as we're sailing along. And I love being able to step out on the balcony and see as we're floating along. This is the suite. It's the largest cabin on the ship. There's 3 left only. So we wanted to make sure if you want a suite that you could grab that right away. This is a junior suite. It's 235 square feet. And notice it has 2 balconies. So one is a balcony that you can actually go outside and sit on. And then the one there on the right is what they call a French balcony. And a French balcony is when the doors open, that's the bars right there. So you don't actually step outside onto the French part. This is a French and full. It's a little bit smaller than the junior suite, as you can see. And here's a really good view of the regular balcony on the left and the French balcony on the right. And you can scoot those chairs out of the way and open up both for lots of fresh air. And then there's a regular French balcony, smaller version that still gives you the access to outside. And then the window rooms, which are down on deck one, which are, even though it's a smaller size cabin, there's still plenty of space to store all your things. It still has lots of closet space and lots of storage space, and the bathroom is still great. So it's a lot of space in that 170 square feet. This is our itinerary. We're starting down here in Budapest in Hungary. We're going to go up the Danube to Vienna and Melk in through Austria. There'll be an excursion if you want to go to Salzburg. Talk about the sound of music, magicalness on a Christmas market in Salzburg. That could be amazing. Then we're going to go up through Regensburg. And that's where we'll get off the ship, but we'll offer, all the way up to Nuremberg, all the way at the top there, where you see the anchor on the left in Germany. And then if you want, there's a 3-day excursion afterwards to Prague that we'll go over in just a moment. But all along the way, there's Christmas markets everywhere. And, it's handcrafted, a lot of places, beautiful, lots of color and lots of fun things that you wouldn't get here. They're just very unique gifts. So you do need to leave more space, Diane, in your your suitcase to bring home all the things that you're going to get for your friends and family. But little things, big things, there's just a lot to see and do. And then how the warmth of the markets then is on board as well. So even when you're out in the markets, you feel the warmth of the holiday spirit. You get back on board and it's just overflowing there as well. There's our cruise manager, Raul, and he took advantage of the ugly sweater contest, and he was lots of fun, and he'll be on again this year, which is great. This is me and Maureen on the left, and this is Maureen riding her bike on the right. And you can hear them. So on this particular excursion, you could have taken a bus, which is what we did, or you could have ridden to this excursion. And so I put this video here just so you can see that there's, lots of different excursions, lots of activity levels. They're all included. There's a regular walker, a gentle walker, and then an active excursion. And the active is, like Vanessa said, climbing a castle, to the hill to the castle, or these 22-mile bike rides, or a 10-mile bike ride. But they're all included, and they're led by the fitness instructor on board.
And you can change your mind if you sign up for one day and the next day you've changed your mind. It's okay. It's not like on some cruises where it's very regimented. It isn't. With us, we are very much interested in you just being happy, whatever you decide you want to do that day.
This is absolutely, yes. This is one of the really sweet servers we had. They served us some cool drinks up on top of the ship. And then also there's local wines that they pour with lunch and dinner. We'll get into that in just a second. They have a very special restaurant menu on board one night in the main restaurant called the Chaîne de Rôtisserie. I don't say it right, but it's the Guild of the Duck or the Chicken or the something, right? And it's a special club that it's a culinary institute of fine dining and wine. And the owners of AmaWaterways are members, right, Diane?
Are designated, right. Well, you can't join. You have to be asked to become a member. So it's a very much a privilege to receive this designation, and it speaks to the quality of the dining on board.
So one night will be a special Chaîne de Rôtisserie menu. They'll have regular items as well, but if you want a really nice French dinner, this will be the night to have that. I showed this photo just so you could see that this is just like a floating hotel. They have hair dryers and towels and shampoo and conditioner, and there's actually a pool. There's fun things to do. There's a gym, of course, and a daily planner every day that has what's going to be happening that day so that you can plan for it. So it is a floating resort with lots of amenities. So we're going to kind of jump into the cities, and I'm going to go pretty quickly because there's plenty of things to see, and we'll just sort of talk about Budapest is where we'll start. And there's Christmas markets there, and you'll see the little guy up there cooking. The markets aren't always gluten-free, right? So you just never know if you'll find a gluten-free market or not. So what AmaWaterways does is they recreate things that are out in the markets. They create them on board so that our guests can eat safely. So you'll see some of those in the pictures as we go forward. But if there is a gluten-free stand at the market, then we can vet it and make sure it's good and then let you know. But if not, then the bottom picture shows a bunch of pretzels. Perhaps then that might not be pretzels, but it might be. If you can't get them there, then we'll make sure you can get them on board the ship whenever possible. So that's one thing I love about these markets. But you just walk around, look at the little shops, and can purchase whatever you want. This is Budapest from my balcony. We were sailing by, and it was so beautiful. You can see the balcony door there. That is from my cabin. I made it on my cell phone. So that's how close you get. And then just look at how beautiful it is at night. So Budapest is a place you would want to spend a couple of days at. There's some really great gluten-free places that we can recommend. You'll get a gluten-free guide that we create so that you know where some of the places are that we recommend. And it's just an incredible place to start the cruise. Then, then we go to Vienna, Vienna is just gorgeous. That Christmas market is one of the world's best. Vienna in itself is just an incredible city with so many things to see and do. Lots of coffee houses, Vienna coffee, and just a lot of places beautiful scenery, and what a beautiful backdrop there. And more food. So every time
Just
when you
keeps
go,
coming.
yeah, every time you go out on an excursion, you come back for lunch and you come back for dinner. So you go see all these beautiful things, and then you come back and have this incredible meal. Here is another shot of Vienna with the beautiful church here on the right, and another stand down there at the bottom. I just love these little houses that they have, and a lot of these are handmade. And the gentleman back there, he was telling everybody about them, and people were buying them like crazy. Just cute little houses. So on board the ship, you get beer and wine and sodas with all meals. So beer, we bring on Holidaily, gluten-free beer. It's not gluten removed, it's gluten-free, made from 100% gluten-free ingredients in a dedicated gluten-free facility. We love the folks over at Holidaily, and they've been our partners since the very beginning, and we will have our beer on board the ship in Europe. Can you believe that? So a brewery from Golden, Colorado, will have their beer on board, and the beer is included with wine and sodas for lunch and dinner, and even champagne for breakfast if you wanted, or like a mimosa. But they also have a happy hour every night where the drinks are free. So that's 1 hour before dinner that the happy hour is going, which is amazing because that's where you really get to spend time with each other, and you really get to enjoy talking about the day. You get waters replenished daily. And my favorite, you guys can chime in here, is the coffee machine. Oh my gosh, it's 24/7. There's actually two. There's one in the front and one in the back of the ship. And you get specialty coffees. You can make hot chocolate, tea. I mean, I probably had 2 cups of coffee every morning there. It's so good.
Cappuccino.
Yeah. And it's complimentary. You just go push the button and it's there. It's so popular, they have 2 machines in the front of the ship. So they're pretty popular.
So Connie, I want to add, I'm not sure if you have a picture of this later, but one of the things that I really appreciated about AMA was that for the excursions, there are some, like you mentioned, going to Salzburg where you're off the ship all day. And so eating could be a challenge off the ship. And so one of the really cool things for the days where you have really long excursions where they set up these like sandwich making bars where there was like gluten-free bread, there was like gluten-free baguettes, gluten-free wraps, and like all the most incredible assortments of like grilled vegetables and lunch meats and spreads and this like amazing basil aioli, which Yosef did give me the recipe for, which is very exciting. I make it all the time. But just the most incredible display of sandwiches for you to pack and take along with you on the excursions, which was so nice because we were able to like have a picnic, or sometimes we ate the sandwiches on the bus. But they also had gluten-free beer for you to take along in your little lunch pail with you, so that you could have gluten-free beer along the way too. And so I really appreciated, not having to worry on days where we had long days off the ship, but just knowing that I always had a safe meal that was also delicious.
I do have a photo of that, but it's later on when we get to the getting off the ship, but I'll remind everyone there then. So this is you know, the cool thing about Ama is that they recreate everything safely that people do out in town that are contain gluten. So when they get on the ship, of course, everything is gluten-free. And we even had a cookie decorating.
This week on the Celiac Cruise holiday markets, the holiday spirit was in full swing at our gingerbread cookie decorating event, all 100% gluten-free, of course. Guests of all ages got creative with icing, sprinkles, and festive designs, turning cookies into edible works of art. It was a joyful celebration of the season filled with laughter, creativity, and delicious gluten-free traditions. Thanks to everyone who joined in the fun.
It was so much fun. Everybody loved
I
that
love
event.
that.
Yes.
Beautiful video. It really
Yes.
captures the moment.
And then every city just gets as pretty or more beautiful,
It
if you could
does.
imagine. This is Salzburg, just over the top incredible. Dernstein has the beautiful Milk Abbey, and I've been there 6 times and I'll go again. I just absolutely love it. That's the picture on the bottom right. It's a gorgeous abbey that's just gilded with gold all over. The bottom left is apricot. They have drinks and jam and all kinds of apricots because they grow them there. And some of the best wine in the world is from the Wachau Valley. So Dernstein
My
and
favorites.
yeah,
Actually, I didn't know, but I loved Austrian wine. I went on a wine cruise with them and learned I loved it. It was just what I love the taste of. So, and those are the apricots down in your corner picture there, which are so famous from the Dernstein area.
Yes, I had some apricot jam this morning, so it was delicious. And I
Yes.
got it from my last trip that we were over there, and I keep
Okay, and let me give
having
everybody a
just a
tip.
taste.
With the
Yes.
apricot jam, I brought it back too, but I didn't know the first time I couldn't put it in my carry-on,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they confiscated it.
Oh,
They said it was liquid. And I was so
oh.
mad at the guy. I said, I bet you're going to eat my apricot jam, aren't you? I almost wanted to open it up and just eat it there because it was so good. So just telling everybody, if you get the apricot jam, don't put it in your carry-on.
Yes.
It is really good. I also didn't know anything about Gruner Veltliner wine until
Oh, my favorite.
It's so good. Yes.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Vanessa. That makes me happy. Yeah, I didn't either. That's how I learned about it when I was on the cruise. So
Yes. Well, one of the highlights of a Christmas cruise, though, is glue wine. And we've shown you a couple of photos of it before. Glue wine, of course, is gluten-free. Just because it has the word glue in it doesn't mean it contains gluten. It's just a mulled cider. It's got wine, it's got fruit, it's got some cinnamon sticks and some anise. And so it's served warm. And there's a red version and a white version, and it helps to warm you up, which is beautiful. Then we're going to the beautiful Passau. And Passau, as you can see, is just lovely city right on the river. And that's where you saw the Regensburg Christmas market is next, which is just another
my
Regensburg.
personal favorite.
Yes. So Regensburg is the home of the original German sausage. So it's a beautiful place to visit for the Christmas markets, but it's also a great place to just see the history. The church there is amazing. A lot of history in Regensburg, as well as Nuremberg. There's a whole lot of history in Nuremberg with the Nuremberg trials, but what a beautiful city, Diane.
I know. And the most famous of all the Christmas markets, the Nuremberg one is because of the striped roofs and the way it's set up. And you'll see horse-drawn carriages going around the market. It's just stunning. And the Regensburg one before is so special to me because it has a medieval one up at the Turn and Taxi Palace that you were speaking of. And then it has the modern one. So you have everything there. And then you go to Nuremberg and it is just it's just like nothing you've seen. It's exactly what you think Christmas markets should look like, and then they do.
So here's a picture on the bottom right, Vanessa, similar to what you were talking about. So this is the big, huge buffet line where you make your sandwiches. If you have a full day excursion and you're going to miss lunch, you also have a full buffet on the very last day when it's time to get off the ship, because we know that the gluten-free bubble is getting ready to break and you're getting ready to go back into, all getting ready to go back into the world. And so we are able to give you a to-go lunch to take with you on the plane. And that's been a big hit, and everybody loves, the fact that they're taken care of. You can even join us for 2 nights before in Budapest and 3 nights after in Prague. That's an additional cost, but definitely worth it if you're going over. The 2 nights in Budapest, we have a flyer we can send you once you're booked, but there's tours, a gluten-free breakfast every morning. And then there's also, the hotel stay. Dinner is on your own. And then there's a 3-night Prague post, which is after the cruise. So you would leave from the ship with the cruise manager, head up to Prague, and then spend 3 nights doing tours, breakfast each morning, and dinner on your own. So those are additional items you can add. But when we do a celiac cruise, it is a gluten-free zone. Our entire ship is gluten-free and no gluten is brought onto the ship during our entire sailing. And like Vanessa said, even the crew eats gluten-free, which is just fantastic. We also offer Hanukkah celebrations on board AmaWaterways. It's just all-inclusive and everyone has a great time. Then here is the culinary director, Robert, just showing the attention to detail. Vanessa's favorite fries up at this picture here because it's there. And it just all the details they put in to their specialty restaurants and, to their food. Did I talk enough about the food? Because the food is really great. I just want to go over real fast. It is a 100% gluten-free chartered ship. So it's just us and it's our ship for the week. It's all meals and snacks, all shore excursions in a variety of levels. So gentle walkers, active, regular, bottled water, specialty coffees, all included, beer, wine, soda with all meals, specialty restaurant, Wi-Fi, gosh, everything. Everything's included except flights. So, and getting maybe excursions to the ship. So it's all there. So that's why the price is reflective of being inclusive of everything. So I'm not going to read each one of these, but I did a little research on holiday markets on the Danube, and people love the festive atmosphere, being able to go to Budapest and Vienna. The handcrafted gifts are the highlight. Nuremberg's market, like Diane said, is really considered one of the most traditional in Germany. And then no matter what city you go to, you get to visit lots of markets along the way. So it's a great way to see all the different markets. And we can't wait to welcome you on board. So with that, I think we're going to see if there's any questions. Vanessa, do you want to read them and we can answer them, or how are we doing on questions?
Sure. Yeah, there's a ton of questions. I answered a handful already by typing. Are you allowed to bring food that is sealed back on board from the markets?
As long as it's gluten-free, yes. So we don't want any gluten on the ship at all because it's our safe place for the week. So as long as everything is gluten-free, you can bring anything on the ship. You can actually, we didn't talk about this, but AMA does not charge a corkage fee. So if you were to find a bottle of wine out in town and you wanted to bring it on and drink it with dinner, even though there's wine included with dinner, you can bring on a bottle of wine and they'll open it for you and you can drink it on board. You can bring spirits, you can bring whatever you want in terms of beverages on board the ship, not gluten containing, but any of the gluten-free drinks that you want.
Swimming pool heated.
Absolutely.
The swimming pool is heated, and last year we had some kids swimming in it, so some adults too.
There's always somebody in that pool at the winter time, and I think they're all crazy. We heat it very warm. It's smoking up there. So yes, it definitely is.
How many people will be on board?
The ship holds about 70 cabins, so 140.
That's correct.
Are there kid-friendly meals?
So there can be some kid-friendly items prepared. There's not a kids menu, but and AmaWaterways really as old as 5 kids can go. They don't recommend it for kids under 8. However, a lot of the 8-year-olds and 7-year-olds that have traveled have been very well traveled. So there's no kids clubs, there's no babysitters, there's nothing for the kids to do specifically. But a lot of kids, and teens, and we've had lots of families who celebrated like a college graduation. So a grandma might take her granddaughter for her college graduation. So, everything can be accommodated.
Absolutely. And we embrace multi-generational travel, so it's fine. And as you mentioned, the meals they can tweak for the children
Like there's
based on your diet.
I think every single day there was pizza on the lunch menu. There's always a hamburger.
Yes, always. Yeah, I don't know if they have hot dogs for in your dietary restrictions, but whatever it is, they can do it for the kids and make it more kid friendly. Not a problem. They're used to it. And somebody else asked a question about how do we handle other diets. It's not really a problem if we know about it. It's always best to know in advance, right, Connie? So you really need to tell Connie what exactly the issue is or the dietary requirement is so that we can note it accordingly. So we would be prepared.
Yeah, and the first day when we get on, there's a time that you can sit with the chef. Vanessa, you've done this with them before. And you want to explain that?
Yeah, so on boarding day, if you have other dietary restrictions, of course, we hope you've already let Celiac Cruise know because they do provide that list to AMA in advance. But if you haven't, there is a time right after boarding where I'll be sitting with the chef and you'll come and meet with us to let us know what those needs are. And the chef will talk through ways that they'll be able to accommodate that. So it's a really great process.
Awesome.
Will they make scones? I don't know. Can you make scones gluten-free? I'm pretty sure you can.
Okay, so I don't know that they've made scones on the ship, but they have gotten scones. As I mentioned earlier, they bring out a lot of the pastries from bakeries that are like dedicated gluten-free bakeries in the different cities. And so they've definitely gotten scones from places like that, but I'm not sure that they made them on board. But they were really good. So what beverages are available at the bar?
So all the liquors, gluten-free beer, different wines, but there's vodka and gin and rum and all the mixers, and it's a full bar.
Is laundry available on the ship?
So they don't have a laundry service. I mean, they have a laundry service. They don't have washing machines, but you can send your clothes out in a bag and they'll come back clean. So it's just a few euros per piece. And they add it up. If you get a suite, that's one of the perks to the suite is you get free laundry. So for those of you that are going to book the suite, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So many of the markets have nighttime lighting in your photos. Are there evening excursions with guides in each city?
If we're in port, then there's an evening excursion with guides typically. I don't have the nautical itinerary in front of me, but a lot of the markets are so beautiful at night. So we'll probably
And also,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but also remember, Connie, that it gets dark earlier at that time of the year.
Oh, yeah.
About 4:30, it begins to get dark. That is a blessing. That's what you want to happen because
Yes.
then the lights come up much earlier as
Um,
well.
when will the information about excursions be available?
Typically, it's about 30 days out. So once they are available, we'll email everyone and let them know it's time to do their online check-in and they can start looking at the excursions. You can now choose your excursions ahead of time. And then when you get on board, if you decide you want to change your mind, as long as there's space available, which there 99 times out of 100 is, then you can switch and do something different as you walk off the ship if you want. But usually it's about 30 days out.
Are handicap rooms available?
Diane?
There are not traditional handicap rooms available or rooms for people with disabilities. So we need to know what the situation is. That doesn't mean we can't accommodate people with disabilities. We do. But it depends. You have to, if it involves a wheelchair or some type of equipment, we would just want to make sure they're in a room that's the size enough that they could handle that in their room, because we can't leave things out in the hallway, for instance.
Right.
But we're always working with people. It's just a matter of letting us know what the disability is that we're dealing with, and then we can work with you on it.
Perfect.
And we'll be very honest about what you could and could not do based on your answers.
And there is an elevator on the ship, so you can go down to the dining room and go to the main lounge. So even if you have problems with stairs, but it is Europe itself is not the most
Not
friendly with the
ADA, yeah.
with the
Yeah, so we always want to manage expectations. We don't want anybody to be disappointed. But believe me, over the many years, we've had many people with many different types of disabilities, people that have come on board 6 weeks after having a hip replacement, and they've got, it's all good. We just have to know so we can all be on the same page about it.
Perfect.
Is there assistance available to mail items back to the States?
So we do mail postcards for free all to anybody, but if you're talking about you go to the Christmas market, you bought too much stuff, we really can't do it from on board the ship. So what would happen is you'd be probably wanting to arrange to go to the local post office, put it in the shipping box, ship it back. However, when you are in the market itself, if you're buying something that's a large item, all of those vendors will probably have shipping available if they're of at least a certain level. Maybe not the little lady sitting on the street corner, but somebody who's in a proper, like the picture that Connie showed you of the gentleman that sells the villages. Usually those types of vendors have the ability to ship to you for you, but they will charge you for it, obviously. But
will Celiac Cruise provide gluten-free city guides or market guides?
Yes. So it's been our experience in the past, and we'll continue to do so, that we'll give you a gluten-free guide in Budapest. And then for those of you going to Prague, also a gluten-free guide. And then if there's any place that we can find along the way that provides, a dedicated gluten-free spot, we'll make sure that you know about that as well.
We looked at flight tickets. The home to city A, but return city B to home are quite a bit more expensive than a round trip. Any advice?
So we can look at flights through AmaWaterways to see what their contracted rates look like. You can also so it would be round trip Budapest, I guess. So, there's a couple of ways to look at it by switching, dates back and forth. Regensburg is going to be closest to Munich. And so that's going to be the airport to fly in and out of, but you could probably get a quick hop, fly in and out of Munich or fly in and out of Budapest with a quick hop. So we're happy to look at that if you need to.
are you going to have the ugly sweater night this year, Connie? Yes or
Oh,
no?
yes.
Absolutely, 100%. Yes, I love that night. Can you arrange transfers?
So if you purchase air from AmaWaterways and you're coming in the day of the cruise or the pre and leaving the day the cruise ends or the post ends, then they include transfers. But yes, we can get transfers first through Ama, even if you book your own air, and it's not very expensive. It's great.
All right, we have answered all of the questions.
Wow, this is great. Well, all of our cruises are listed on celiaccruise.com. We have 12 departures next year, and we still have this holiday markets this year. So we still have some space, and we would love for you to join us. I want to thank Diane and Vanessa for your time this evening. I know you are both extremely busy, and you took time out of your day to be with us tonight. I want to thank everybody who is on board on the webinar now. On board. I'm already welcoming you on board. And if you have any questions, you can email those to info@celiaccruise.com. If you want to go ahead and register, you can do so at celiaccruise.com, and then go ahead and pay your deposit, and we'll contact you tomorrow or the next day and get your link for the final payment so that you can get booked and get over here and enjoy this great market. So any closing words, ladies?
We just would love to welcome you aboard. As you can see, it would be a magical, unforgettable experience. And these ladies have gone out of their way to make it a safe environment for you. And with AmaWaterways, we are on board with that as well. So we hope to see you on board this year. Remember, they're not going to have another holiday one for a few years. This is your chance. Don't miss it. And by the way, the week they chose is like the most sought after week. So it's a great, great time to go.
Come hungry.
Thank you, Connie, and thank you, Vanessa, for all you've done to get these groups together. We love welcoming them aboard, and I'll pass it to Vanessa for final words.
Come hungry. The food is amazing. It is all handled with such care, and I hope to see you on the cruise in December.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.
Bye.